Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. WWE Smackdown Live from London, England on demand. Your viewership is very much appreciated. Now, on to Smackdown Live. The show kicked off with Daniel Bryan in the ring for a promo with Renee Young, and they talked about Bryan's loss. Bryan said nobody likes to lose, and he will continue to fight. He will fight for his dreams, and Bryan made it clear his goal is to become the WWE champion. So look ahead to the future. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, WWE title seems to be the future direction. Unless AJ loses the title at Money in the Bank. But I will talk about that more in just a few minutes. Let's move on here. Let's talk about what happened while Bryan was talking. He got interrupted by Big Cass. Big Cass, after not appearing on SmackDown last week, came out and started ripping into Daniel Bryan. Again, I enjoyed Cass's promo. I thought he did a really solid job with this promo. I enjoyed him. I thought his delivery was really good. I know some people don't like him, but I enjoy his delivery, and I think he cuts a good promo. Some of you may disagree with me, though. It is what it is. But I liked him ripping into Bryan, and I was enjoying the segment. Chris Mace just left a $2 super chat donation. The ending of main event should have been ending WrestleMania. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Again, don't jump too far ahead. Let's focus on one segment at a time. But thank you, Chris Mace, for the $2 super chat donation. John Tompkins says Big Cass should not show his face after Backlash. Snipe Rider says more like a lot of people don't like Cass. Braden says, I really don't believe that Cass has backstage heat. Vince McMahon loves him. I like Cass as well. Matthew Sullivan says Cass's voice just isn't heelish or intimidating. See, I kind of like his voice a little bit. It feels like he has this obnoxiousness to it that I like. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Awesome JL94 with a $25 super chat donation. Holy crap. Thank you. Hey Aaron, first time donating. Cannot wait for Money in the Bank. I will be there live as well. Are you going to the meetup? The meetup right before Money in the Bank. If not, you should definitely be there. And if you're not aware of it, head over to NoDQ.com/Chicago. Awesome JL94. We're going to do a big NoDQ meetup before the pay-per-view. Just throwing that out there. Thank you again for the super chat donation. I appreciate it very much. So anyways, back to Big Cass. Big Cass, he ran down Daniel Bryan. He admitted that he lost, but his excuse was that he tapped out because he did not want to risk a permanent injury. And he said, well, he beat up Daniel Bryan more than Bryan beat up him. Ma Wrestling says, I did not watch SmackDown. Was it a good show? I would say it was a good show overall. Not a great show, not a bad show. Just the show. Well, a show. Not really the show. Although compared to Raw, I would say it's the show. I feel SmackDown has consistently been the better show of the two. So yeah, in that case, I would say SmackDown is the show of the week if you're going to only watch one WWE show. I know some people will say NXT, but I'll go with the live show. That's just me personally. Kayfabe Candy Ass says you cannot teach 6'8". Snipe Rider says cannot wait to see Joe beat up Big Cass next week. We'll see what happens with that. But speaking of people getting beat up, Big Cass getting beat up for that matter, Big Cass got in the ring. He started mocking the Daniel Bryan yes chant, which I liked. Again, I liked Big Cass mocking the yes chant and the crowd doing the no. I thought that was great. Big Cass got in the ring, mocked Daniel Bryan, and Bryan beat him up again. So I'm not sure what's going on here with Cass. He got beat up again after losing to Bryan at Backlash and not appearing on SmackDown last week. Next week, it's Big Cass versus Samoa Joe. Joe cut a promo, and by the way, I guess I'm not the only person with the Amish look these days, although I doubt anybody will call Samoa Joe an Amish to his face. Samoa Joe cut a promo, thankfully without the annoying text over the screen. It was just Joe cutting his cell phone promo, which I'm still not a big fan of, but it's better than having the text on top of it. Paul Jackson, 1988, with a $2 super chat donation, just completely throwing this video in a totally different topic here because he wants me to get the thumbs down. But seriously, thank you, Paul Jackson, for the super chat donation. Will you watch Review All In on September 1st? I will watch it if there's a way to watch it. I do not know if they are going to be streaming the show, but if they are, I would definitely be interested in checking it out, and I would happily review the show. I'm not planning to go to Chicago, though. I'm already going for Money in the Bank, obviously, next month. I'm going to San Francisco for the New Japan show. Don't think I'm going to be doing All In, but I would like to watch it if there is an opportunity to watch it. Anyways, enough of that. Back to SmackDown Live. I did like Joe's promo, but what else is new? Joe always cuts a great promo. Next week, it's Samoa Joe, Big Cass for the final Money in the Bank spot. Weird match because I don't think Big Cass should be losing again, but at the same time, I want to see Samoa Joe in Money in the Bank. So I'm kind of torn with this one, how it's going to go down. Braden says, Joe's promos are the same old stuff. Don't understand why people think he's one of the better promos compared to The Miz and others. Because Joe can cut a main event style promo with a serious tone and you take the guy seriously. He is a guy you do not want to run into in a dark alley. The Miz, I mean, I think most of us feel we can beat up The Miz. Maybe even I feel that way. If I ran into The Miz, I could take him in a fight. I probably couldn't realistically, but I feel I could because The Miz is that chicken crap heel that runs his mouth and gets beat up. Joe is very convincing with his promos. When he talks, you see the fear in his eyes. You see the intensity. You see him making a statement, and you don't want to cross paths with this guy. That's just the way it is. Beastmaster disagrees. He says Joe's promos are trash, same garbage every time, and he never gets a win. Ma Wrestling says Joe sounds like he's going to punch you in the face. Regarding what Beastmaster said about the promos being garbage and he never gets a win, never getting a win, that's not Joe's fault. That's the booking. In my opinion, Joe should be winning. I take Joe seriously when he talks. Chris May says the Joe shoot promo from Turning Point in TNA was unbelievable. Paul Jackson says if Mahal and Reigns does close Money in the Bank, will we see a Rift rant? I'm sure I will complain. It'll be a very interesting reaction. I don't think it's going to happen, though, because of Ronda Rousey being on the card. I have a feeling Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax are closing the show. I really don't think it's going to be Samoa Joe, or excuse me, not Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, the other Joe, and Jinder Mahal. It's going good, Mike B. Talk Show God says, hell yeah, Rift rant. Chris May says Joe can cut some damn good promos. Converse Craig says, do you know if Rift Aronson is going to Money in the Bank? He is not. He is apparently gone again. He came back, left a few super chat donations, and then disappeared. So, guys, I think Rift Aronson is gone for good. I don't think he's ever coming back. Just let it die. Let it go, as the song would say. So let's move on here and talk about some of the qualifying matches. We had the New Day versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Good match. I believe it was Xavier that picked up the win for his team. It was Xavier and Big E with Kofi on the outside. There's been the talk about Big E getting a singles push. So because Big E won, one of the New Day members, or excuse me, Xavier won for his team. Because New Day won the match, one of the New Day members will get entered into the Money in the Bank match. The question is, which one is it going to be? Converse Craig says New Day has to end. Chris May says Xavier Woods has been on fire. Kevin says they choose Big E. Braden says I would like to see it be Big E. Most people here are saying Big E. Matthew Sullivan says Big E should get the shot in a singles push. Although I think a lot of people would like to see Kofi Kingston in the match because Kofi is known for doing all of the cool spots. And just as I say that, I have a bunch of people saying it should be Kofi. How's it going, Jeffrey? Why are people saying what's up, Aaron, when I'm trying to get a point across? I appreciate it, guys, but don't say what's up. I said at the beginning I'm doing great. Just throwing that out there because it does throw me off a little bit. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, as long as 33-year-old men keep wearing those unicorn headbands, they aren't breaking them up. Yeah, I mean, as long as there's merchandise to be sold, I think you make a very good point, Kayfabe Candy Ass. I don't think they're going to break up the New Day unless the merchandise sales really take a hit. Now, there has been a report about the merchandise sales being down. I don't know if that's true or not. The crowd still seems to enjoy the pancakes, but you guys know how I feel about it. I'm not really a big fan of the pancakes. Just my opinion. Curtis says Kofi is known for these types of matches. Yeah, that's the thing. Kofi really fits in with the Money in the Bank matches, but at the same time, I feel like Big E is a more suitable choice if WWE is going to give him a singles push. Justin says, do you believe Xavier can actually win? No, I really don't. If Big E was in the match, I would feel that there is a decent chance of him winning the whole thing. Maybe not a great chance, but I feel like there would be more of a chance of Big E winning than Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods. Converse Craig says Kofi is not credible. Travis W says, I'm with Aaron. I prefer waffles over pancakes. Henry says, how many pancakes do they waste every week? Who cares? They're making money. They got that Saudi Arabia money. They can afford a lifetime supply of pancakes. Pancakes are not expensive to make either. So I'm sure they make about $20, $30 worth of pancakes and use it as a prop. That's like a penny to WWE, let's face it. What about French toast? Are you talking about New Day French toast? That's the next thing we'll have. We had cereal. We had pancakes. What was the other thing we had? Oh, ice cream bars. Or ice cream. I think it was ice cream, not ice cream bars. I would have liked it more if it was ice cream bars because it would have been delivering what we've wanted for the longest time. You know, CM Punk brought it up, ice cream bars. So next thing will be New Day waffles. Curtis Butler says, let's move on. Yes, let's move on indeed. So Carmella had her Mellebration, which was introduced by some UK guy, UK style, whatever. She came out, cut her promo, which was fine. I think she maybe spent a little bit too much time in the tanning bed. She looked particularly orange, Hulk Hogan level orange maybe, on this show. She was interrupted by Paige. Paige came out and made the match for Money in the Bank for the SmackDown Women's title, which was Carmella versus Asuka. Asuka came out and had a stare down with Carmella, and that was the segment. So Money in the Bank, we now have Asuka versus Carmella. Really interesting match to me. Is WWE going to end Carmella's reign, or is there going to be a screw job finish? Is there going to be a DQ or something? I will talk about this when we do the upcoming predictions video for Money in the Bank. Curtis Butler says Asuka wins. John Tompkins says Carmella is Enzo 2.0. Snipe Rider says Asuka better beat Carmella in short time. Kurapika07 says if Asuka loses to Carmella, it will end Asuka's career. And Curtis says Carmella is a transitional champion. Lance says, hey Aaron, hey Lance. Guys, I'm not trying to be salty, but saying hey Aaron, hi Aaron, you don't have to say that 20 minutes into the video. I really don't mean to be salty, but it seriously does throw me off when you guys comment off topic in the chat room. So let's try to stick to the topics here. If you're going to say hey Aaron, say it first minute or two of the video. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, Orange, you glad to get a push from banging Cena? Kayfabe Candy Ass said that, not me. There's no proof to my knowledge that Cena and Carmella are dating, and John Cena pretty much shot down those rumors. I'm not even going to go there, but Kayfabe Candy Ass wanted to make the orange joke, so that's what he went with. Good job, Kayfabe Candy Ass. Awesome JL94 says, who is more likely to lose, Asuka or Ronda? Curtis Butler says it was a bad joke, by the way. And now Homie Films is trolling me saying, hey, Salty Aaron. Thank you for that. Who is more likely to lose, Asuka or Ronda? Probably Asuka. I don't see Ronda losing to Nia Jax. I would be really surprised if that happened. Really surprised. I mean, like, Jinder Mahal winning the WWE title surprised, but that did happen. So anything is possible. I'm just not seeing it. I could see Asuka losing because now that she already lost the streak, I could see her losing more matches. Maybe by some kind of interference or cheap victory for Carmella. I could see some sort of screw job finish in that match. Both of them, for that matter, could have DQs or countouts or something. Who knows? And of course, the whole scenario with Natalya possibly cashing in Money in the Bank on Nia Jax and screwing Ronda Rousey out of the title. That's also a possibility too. So let's move on here. And we had a promo by the Bludgeon Brothers. Bludgeon Brothers haven't really done much the past few weeks. I have no idea what's going on with them. They're the tag team champions, for crying out loud, yet they're not having matches, and there's no real direction for them. There's no clear match for Money in the Bank. They showed graphics of the Usos and the New Day, but we still really don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what the next tag team match is for Money in the Bank. Maybe there isn't going to be one. Who cares about the tag team titles? Whatever. So let's move on here. Paige made a match, a triple threat qualifying match. Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Match itself, I was annoyed with because it was the same thing we saw on Raw. On Raw, we saw not one, but two qualifying triple threat Money in the Bank matches where both times we had the two heels working together and then they turned against each other. Rinse, wash, repeat. Or is it wash, rinse, repeat? Whatever. Regardless, it was the same formula, and I was bored with the match. So anyways, Becky Lynch won, and 50-50 booking is what it was, because Mandy Rose beat Becky Lynch last week, and then this week, Becky pins Mandy. Why could Becky not pin Sonya? Why ruin Mandy's momentum 1 week after giving her a push? I don't get it. It feels like WWE had something with Mandy, and already she's the victim of 50-50 booking. So, I don't know. It got me. But Becky needed the win, and I think Becky's the best candidate for the Money in the Bank match. I'm just not a fan of doing this as a triple threat, first of all, and then having Mandy take the fall. Whatever. I'd like to see Becky win the Money in the Bank match, period. Ooh, Curtis Butler. Who does Sonya beat? Herself? I see what you did there. Very savage comment right there. That might be the savage comment of the night. Paul Jackson, 1988, with a super chat donation, $2. Fire Road Dogg. Hashtag Fire Road Dogg. What might be funny about that is Road Dogg probably had nothing to do with that, but everyone just likes to blame Road Dogg for everything. Road Dogg ruins everything. Reminds me of Are You Serious? By the way, if there's ever a show to bring back, this is an off-topic rant here. Why not bring back Are You Serious to the WWE Network? That was fun. That was an entertaining show. Just showing some of the worst clips and making fun of them. WCW Ruins Everything. Why not do a show called WCW Ruins Everything? WWE already likes to bury WCW every opportunity they can. So why not just do a show making fun of all the worst WCW moments? Hell, if WWE had a sense of humor and a little bit of self-awareness, why not do the worst of WWE on the network? Showing all the worst WWE moments and segments. You know, Botchamania is a huge success. So WWE should take advantage of that and make their own Botchamania show. That's basically what Are You Serious was. I prefer that over Camp WWE and Ride Along and whatever crap they have on the network. And there goes some dislikes for that, burying that precious Camp WWE show. Yuck. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, funny because WWE ruined every WCW star. Well, yeah, just go back to the Invasion. You got plenty of content for a worst of WWE show right out of the Invasion angle for sure. So let's move on here. Let's talk about the main event. Yeah, the salt is real tonight. I'm ranting on everybody. I'm ranting on people for saying, hey, Aaron, in the chat 10 minutes after the video starts. I'm ripping on Camp WWE. Camp WWE is not South Park. It is a watered down, and I use that word very intensely, a very watered down version of Family Guy. That's what it is. I'm sorry, not sorry. All right, so let's talk about the main event. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. Great match. Here, I'm not going to be salty. I'm going to compliment something. This was an awesome match. Probably the best match of their series because it actually got a little bit of time. It was a really solid match. Wasn't a bunch of rest holds. And there was a somewhat of a clean finish. You had the referee get knocked down and distracted momentarily, and Shinsuke pretended to have gotten a low blow by AJ Styles. AJ said, no, I did not give him a low blow. And in the confusion, Nakamura attacked AJ, hit the Kinshasa, and picked up the victory, which means that Nakamura gets to choose the stipulation at Money in the Bank. Interesting. Going in, I thought maybe AJ would win and would announce the stipulation and Nakamura would beat AJ at his own game. But now I'm thinking Nakamura is going to come up with some kind of match to stack the deck against AJ. And AJ will beat Nakamura now because AJ already has the deck stacked against him. I sense that's what's going to happen now because Nakamura won the match. AJ's going to win at Money in the Bank. And I do like the fact that they didn't announce it in advance. Kevin says cliffhanger for the stipulation. He said supplication, and I'm trying to say stipulation, but I'm thinking of some other word. Stipulation for Money in the Bank. I like the fact that they're waiting until next week, and we also don't know the New Day member that's getting the Money in the Bank spot either. So WWE actually doing a good job of having some cliffhangers and keeping people guessing as to what's going to happen on next week's show. William Losh says a 3 stages of hell match would be cool to see. Converse Craig says a ladder match. Jeremiah Dorset says TLC match. I'm not a fan of either of those. I'm not a fan of a ladder match or a TLC match on a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. 2 ladder matches is enough. Kayfib Candy Ass says balls count anywhere match. By the way, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. We have over 200 live viewers. I appreciate it. Oh, why do you do this, Snipe Rider? You just ruined it. You just ruined it. He says watch, they announce it on Twitter. You nailed it. They're going to freaking announce it on Twitter, aren't they? Instead of saving it for next week, give people something to discuss and speculate about, they're going to give it away on Twitter. I just know it. Why did you have to do that, Snipe Rider? Why? We were all getting excited being able to talk about this, and yeah, they're just going to say it randomly on Twitter. Won't shock me at all. Or on Facebook. Or YouTube. Who's the guy that does the YouTube preview videos? I'm not even sure of his name. Dasha Phillips. Well, that's the woman, right? Kathy Kelly. One of them. One of them is going to go on YouTube and say, breaking news. Nakamura just announced a balls count anywhere match. Mike Rome. Thank you, Big Jeffrey. That's the guy I was thinking of. Mike Rome. So, we also had a segment with Rusev and Aiden English and Lana. They might as well just form a 3-person faction. Because Lana's really got nothing else going on. Although, next week she's against, I think it's Billie Kay. I think. Could be Payne Royce, but I think it's Billie Kay. There's going to be a match next week between one of the Iconics and Lana for a spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Yes, Lana is wrestling Braden on next week's show, so it should be interesting. Okay, there's a delay with the chat room because now I just got like 50 comments saying Billie Kay. Rooster McScratch says English is greater than Rusev, who is greater than Lana. I might get some dislikes for this, but I'm with you on that. Aiden English is the man. I think that guy is extremely entertaining. Not that Rusev doesn't have his likable qualities and should be pushed, but Aiden English, to me, he has something really special with the singing gimmick, and I feel like he should be elevated more than he is. Just my take on it. And Lana's hot, so she's got that going for her. But you guys are just judging Lana because of her looks. Looks-wise, Lana's definitely number 1. I will say that, above Aiden English and Rusev. Rooster McScratch says, hell yeah, I love English. Jeremiah Dorset says, Lana is lucky I would marry her. All right, then. Jordan Smith says, who is Seth Rollins going to face at Money in the Bank? Maybe Elias, because I'm trying to think what can Elias do at the pay-per-view now that he's not going to be in the ladder match. But I will talk about that more with the NoDQ panel when we do the NoDQ review. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Head over to youtube.com/AaronRiffNoDQ and subscribe if you haven't already. Because we got some great videos coming up later this week. The NoDQ review will be back. I will be doing NoDQ video, wrestling trivia challenge, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel for all that stuff. Anyways, on that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all very much, as usual, for tuning in. And I apologize for being salty earlier, but just so you guys know, when I'm doing the live video, if you can, try to stick to the topic of the video. Don't try to go off topic because it does throw me off at times. I'm still trying to get better at it. It might take years, though, for me to really master this You know, I've been doing the live videos less than a year, and I'm trying to get better at it, but it does take time. You guys can certainly help, though. So the chat room participation is definitely a factor. I try to make this video as interactive as possible. And like I said a few weeks back, maybe next week I will try to do a live video where you guys can call in. It might be a total train wreck. So I'm warning everybody now, I might get really salty if there's technical problems. I also had technical problems starting tonight's video, which could contribute to the saltiness on this particular video. So I don't mean to be mean-spirited when I say don't say hey Aaron 10 minutes into the video, but if you guys can, get your hey Aarons in the first minute when the video starts. If you tune in late, just start contributing with comments or questions. I appreciate that. So thank you guys again very much, and I will see you all next time for another edition of NoDQ Live.